splinter in your mind. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. Like a splinter in your mind.
Hello everybody, it is of course Nick Dutch back on the camera again for another thoroughly unedited video of me just sitting down talking to it. I'm probably not going to edit this or anything else, I'm just going to upload straight away. Not even going to view it prior to uploading it because I'm rather short on time. Of course, for those of you who are curious, my efforts to get my place spick and span and totally clean and hygienic is going incredibly well. But one thing I would say is don't do it. Okay, seriously, don't clean your place. Especially all those parts of the place which you've been trying to avoid cleaning, because basically it'll terrify you. It'll terrify you, honestly, it'll completely terrify you. It's a bit like, you know, before you start doing massive, intense, proper deep cleaning of every single nook and cranny, it's like being in the Matrix. You think everything's okay. And then you buy yourself a radiator brush and you start properly doing, you know, in the little nooks and crannies of the radiators. And then you suddenly think to yourself, no, no. And it's quite horrific, really. But on the other hand, the end result to my health, as well as, of course, the general appearance of the place, will be absolutely wonderful. Anyway, I'm here to go into one particular wonderful private message was sent through to me. It says, "Dear Nick, would you consider doing a video on what New Agers believe with regard to exorcism, including methods and energy cleansing of rooms? No problem here, I'm simply curious. Have you heard of burning sage?" Yeah, I have heard of burning sage. I have experience of burning sage. One time I was rather unhealthy, and I just got myself a little incense burner. I think, you know, I don't think I have it anymore. It's this little brass incense burner I got from a charity shop. It looked rather nice, probably handcrafted by someone in some wonderful part of the world where they do all kinds of like weird incensey things. And I put like the burning charcoal in it, put sage on it, and basically I got totally naked and bathed my entire body in the smoke that was coming off the sage. Okay, it made the house stink of smoke and all that kind of stuff, but whilst I was doing it, when I put my head over the sage fumes, I could feel something being lifted off the top of my head. And it was like all these like thousands of little voices, for want of a better word, being pulled out of me. And I suddenly felt incredibly clear-minded. Alright, I mean, I was still a very ill person, but on the other hand, my mind had really been cleansed by the sage smoke. And that was weird, but it did suggest to me, I mean, that's another one of those wonderful, strange experiences which I've had in my history of playing around with weird stuff, which shows that some strange things can happen when you try and go through the process of playing with this stuff and having these strange experiences. So, did that do something? Yes, it seemed to. I think that sage smoke has some kind of, for want of a better word, power to help to remove things which are energetically negative. Again, for want of a better phrase, we don't actually know. All we got is like points of view and people's beliefs and folk myths and all the rest of it out there, but sage smoke does something, which I think is fantastic, wonderful, and amazing. What else? I mean, New Age ideas on exorcism, they've been stolen, basically. They've been stolen from shamanic cultures, they've been stolen from the Judeo-Christian tradition, and of course, thanks to, you know, the internet, it's making new ideas, or, sorry, old ideas more popular, but with a more modern, I suppose, sort of like New Age-esque, or New Ageianity-esque twist to them, to make them seem, you know, more acceptable, or whatever. So, yeah, there's a combination of using meditation, things associated with the Lesser Rite of Pentagram, which is a big thing with a lot of people, as well as things written of by Mauni Sadhu, as well as Eliphas Levi and other, you know, good occultists. I mean, within the Western tradition, which is more ceremonial magic with all the toys, you know, daggers and swords and pentagrams and all that kind of stuff orientated. There was one method in which the psychic healer would actually use a sword to puncture wounds in any larval entities or like low energy things which are in the aura of the person being treated. Which, if the sword was treated properly itself and was believed in. Yeah, that's right. I wasn't going to edit this video, but I've been attacked by the curse of the failing batteries in my camera. Anyway, as I was saying, so long as like the sword is treated right, maybe a blessing of some description, then, and also the practitioner who's using it believes enough in the use of the tool, and also has enough experience with dealing with like the energy thing, then essentially there's no reason why that itself shouldn't work. I don't feel that there is a specific understanding, but the general interpretation is that there are some things which are negative or not very healthy, and that they need to somehow be got rid of or reduced so that the individual who is suffering from the affliction could in fact have that taken away from them. I believe it's more to do with energy healing these days rather than actually driving demons out, because within New Age thinking there doesn't seem to be that much reference to demons as separate entities. Within the schools of thought associated with ghost hunting, maybe there are demonic ideas or elemental ideas, as some people might call them. But that's essentially another debate as to whether these things actually exist or what the actual characteristics of these things actually are. But it's essentially a bit of a hodgepodge. And as far as can someone get rid of these things, well, yeah, maybe they can. So for some people, they are, these evil things or negative things are analogous to an aspect of personal growth which needs to be worked upon. So that's more your sort of like self-developmental school in New Age thought, which is okay in its own right. But that's not necessarily the whole thing. I mean, the Judeo-Christian tradition has a wide variety of different attitudes. There's the more aggressive, all negative spirits come from the devil or Satan, and therefore have to be exorcised in the name of Jesus or whatever. But also there's the Jewish tradition, which is mentioned in Wikipedia, I think. And there's the idea of trying to heal the spirit, so that both the patient and the spirit which is possessing the patient can also be healed, which I think is interesting because it's explained as a humane method. And there's all kinds of things of having 10 priests, one each representing one of the 10 spheres on the Tree of Life, or doing various different forms of prayers, invocations, and using the various musical instruments to try and, or trumpets and horns and that sort of thing, to assist in providing healing to both the patient and also the spirit of the possessed person. So it's complex, and there's an awful lot to it, and you may even be doing some of it subconsciously.